This is Dr. Shailaja Reddy. I'm a functional and integrative medicine physician. For people who are watching this replay or new to the group, this is a 5-pound weight loss challenge. We had it 2 weeks ago, and we are doing sprouting education this week. So this live video is about learning health benefits of sprouting and learning techniques from me and from other people who are in the group. So I'm a functional and integrative medicine physician. I practice in Framingham, Massachusetts. Functional medicine identifies the underlying root causes of uh, the disease rather than treating isolated set of symptoms. We custom tailor the treatment plans according to the advanced testing and extensive history that we take in the clinic. And a little disclaimer here, the information given about the health conditions is for educational purpose only, do not constitute a medical advice. There is no doctor-patient relationship formed. The people with weak immune system are at high risk of life-threatening, sometimes, food poisoning, if you don't make the sprouts right. This happens mostly like when you buy the sprouts outside or if you store it for a longer periods of time. So I have been sprouting all my life, that didn't happen to me, but I just wanted to put that warning out there. And sprouting is basically a process where seeds and legumes are germinated and eventually, most likely eaten raw because they have so many nutrients. So we want to preferably eat them raw. And of course, you can also cook them. Because they're easily digestible, it's okay to cook them, but you get more benefits when you eat them raw. And why are we sprouting? Why are we not just eating the seeds like that? Because when you sprout, there are a lot of anti-nutrients in the foods. There's a reason why Mother Nature keeps these anti-nutrients. They're like phytic acid, these substances. They lock all the nutrients, they lock the minerals and they lock the nutrients. So our body is not able to absorb them like it would when you sprout them. When you sprout, these anti-nutrients are reduced, so you can utilize all the nutrients inside there. And during the process of sprouting, some of the stored starch in the legumes is used up for the formation of tiny leaves and the rootlets, and that manufactures vitamin C. So there are more nutrients formed, and there's less sugar, and there's more enzymes because all these seeds and lentils, enzymes are actually in the inactivated form. So when you sprout, as naturally, Mother Nature thinks that it's getting ready to become a plant or a little seedling. So all these enzyme inhibitors are deactivated. That's why you have more enzymes. The more enzymes you have, it's much easier on your digestive process. That's why you sprout any seeds and nutrients. And that's why the blood sugar is also less. There are some sprouts, like for example, broccoli sprouts. They have broccoli itself is very healthy, and it contains a lot of glucoraphanes. And when you sprout broccoli seeds, the amount of the glucoraphane goes up to like 10 to 100 times in the sprouts. So that's converted to sulforaphane, which is an antioxidant and anti-cancer substance in your body. And sprouting increases the protein content, and it increases a lot of vitamins. So for all these reasons, we prefer to sprout it. We in our clinic, because of gastrointestinal disorder treatments is my special interest, and that's why we do a lot of food sensitivity testing. In the sensitivity testing, when we get the lectin sensitivities, because lectins are substances present in many of these grains, lentils, and some vegetables also. The first, one of the recommendations I give is like sprout the foods. When you sprout it, or pressure cook it. These are all the recommendations we give when you have these sensitivities. So it's really a good habit to sprout. This week, we are going to learn how to sprout from me and from other people in the group also. We have a very active group. We had several pictures of the sprouts and recipes today. In my future, I'm going to share a slide presentation also with all these photographs. I didn't prepare it today, but I do have a lot of other things that I'm going to share with you. Then what? So what do we do? What are the common things that we sprout? I'll show you the tray that I have here today. Just kept it for you so you can see it. I hope you can see it all. It's pretty heavy, so I'm going to show you one by one. So this one is buckwheat sprouts. You can see it, right? This is one thing. This is a very delicious sprout, and it's a gooey grain. So when you sprout buckwheats, it's going to of course, you're going to have all the benefits that I just mentioned. It's very easy to sprout. This is not a common thing, especially in in Indian culture where I grew up. So I would recommend that you all should sprout the buckwheat. It's a grain, and because of the gluten sensitivity issues nowadays, and a lot of people are turning to buckwheat, and this is very easy to sprout. And I'll show you in the week later, like how the sprouts look like. You can see that this is a horse gram. This one is peas. Peas, you can sprout them just in 2 or 3 days. By the way, what do you do to sprout? Any grain or lentil or legumes you take, you just soak them in water overnight. And once you soak them in water, you drain that water next morning. And then you just cover it with the lid. And you don't really need any fancy tools for sprouting unless you go for wheat grass, or broccoli sprouts actually needs a little tool, which I'll show tomorrow. For other regular sprouts that I'm showing you now, we don't need it. All you need is just a container and a lid. You don't even need a cloth, actually. I just use the regular, any lid is fine. But soaking them overnight is important thing. And this one, you can see, I think you can see it. This is quinoa. It's very easy to sprout quinoa seeds. So you can sprout the quinoa. And this is, anyone can guess, this one is wild rice. Usually wild rice is actually not rice, but the reason I'm showing this sprouts in a unique way. When you sprout all the other lentils, you get the little tail, right? For the wild rice, it just splits. That's how the wild rice sprouts. So you might want to try sprouting the wild rice. You can do that instead of regular rice. And this one is it's called urad dal in Indian language. It's a black lentil, and in our language we call it minamulu. That's a very good way of sprouting, and you can do a lot of fritters and many items after you sprout it. You don't have to just eat it raw. And this is actually my favorite sprouts. It's called French lentils. These French lentils are very easy to sprout, and they're very nutritious and they're very delicious. And you just get the sprouts out of these French lentils in just 2 days. And we're going to do this chickpeas. Chickpea sprouts are also very easy, but some people have problem digesting the chickpea sprouts. So make sure you're okay when you eat the chickpeas. Some people can get bloating from the chickpeas. So I usually steam the chickpeas a little bit when I sprout it. But I don't recommend that for all the small seeds. I mean, if you can digest, you don't have to steam it, but it's just a caution. And this is this is the wheat berries, but there are two kinds of wheat berries, winter berries and spring berries. And winter berries have longer shelf life. And you can do any, but always buy the hard berries, not the soft berries. And I usually make the wheatgrass because I'm gluten sensitive, so that's for the wheatgrass making. And this one is fenugreek. It's a methi seeds we call these are also, you get good sprouts out of the fenugreek. And these two are the beans. Okay, this is larger the bean, the better you steam it after you sprout. And this is a small one, aduki beans, and this is also makes good sprouts. And my favorite, the last one, is mung beans. So everybody knows how to do the mung beans, and we use it in the salads, and it's a popular sprout. And then how do you eat the sprouts when you make it? So they are great additions to any healthy meal. You can just eat them like that if it is a small sprout, or if you have any problem with bloating, or if the size of the bean is larger, then you want to steam them. And then you can even put it in any curries, or any way you can eat. Like, it's better on the sandwiches, it's better on salads. You can just experiment and do anything. But if you are in the page, there are so many recipes out there, and people are just awesome. They're sharing all their sprout recipes. It's really, if you're not on the Facebook page, please do come to the Facebook page. It's a nice way of learning. And now I'm going to bring Shri Malisetti. She posted a beautiful sprout recipes today on the page. So she is going to come and explain how she made those sprouts. Shri, you're in.
All right. Thanks, Saila. Hi, everyone. My name is Shri Devi. I live in Westport, Massachusetts. 14 years ago, I attended one of Dr. Saila's raw foods get-together. In that get-together, she showed us how to make sprouts. She also gave us this sprouts jar that we can use to make sprouts, and it has holes for the lid. And I've been making these sprouts every week for the past 14 years. As Saila mentioned in her talk, you really don't need this jar. You can just, all you need is one container, and you have to soak it overnight. And next day morning, you just rinse off all the water from the container and then just cover it. It has to be like a dark lid. You cannot just use a glass lid. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I've been making sprouts for the last 14 years. I use them on my open smashed avocado toast, salads, and pretty much on everything I eat. I make Indian chats if I feel like having a quick snack with these sprouts. They're always there on my kitchen counter. So they're available anytime. My kids started using them on their tacos, pasta, quesadillas, you name it. That's my sprout story. Back to you, Dr. Shaila.
No, you can stay there. Let me ask you a few questions.
All right.
So the post you had today, I think you said broccoli sprouts. Did you mean broccoli or broccoli sprouts on that page? I didn't get it. So
it's broccoli sprouts.
It's broccoli sprouts you had on
yes,
the thing?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So tomorrow I'm going to share all the photographs. I didn't plan the presentation today, so I'll share your photographs. And thank you so much, Shri, for being so active and showing all the recipes. I felt like coming to your house to have. And another thing I didn't mention, and also I think Shri mentioned it, is when you soak the sprouts, then every day in the morning and evening you have to rinse it. So that's a very important step in sprouting. So while you rinse it, just be careful. You don't want to break that little root that you get. So if you break it again, that's when you get chances of more mold in the sprouts. So again, another thing is when you buy the seeds, you have to buy a good quality seeds. If you buy the seeds that have been sitting in the store for a long time, then you're not going to make them all sprout. And the unsprouted seeds or lentils, they're prone for molding. So that's why it is very important to buy the good quality seeds. So any questions you have, I'll be glad to answer if you post it on the chart. That's just an introduction for sprouting, and tomorrow we will show some sprouts that we have so you can learn how to make it. We can get the container and show you the sprouts. That's it for today. And be ready and have some questions tomorrow. We'll be on live at the same time, and we'll give a demo on the sprouts tomorrow. So I know this was a short notice today. I just posted a few minutes ago about my life. Hopefully you get to watch this replay, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, Shri. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.